another report tonight. We'll be putting out 2 today, so I'll be dropping this here in like an hour, as well as another video too. So I want to go over something that came out yesterday. I came across this. The National Guard is being deployed in Baltimore. The National Guard was deployed to be used as a way to enforce the restrictive curfew in Baltimore. In most cities, there are now travel is banned. In most cities, there's a travel ban. For now, just from state to state, but I see it getting smaller into restricting traveling from cities. Also mandatory of shelter in place, and you cannot even go back home. You might have to stay at the airport until this is over, but must hunker down wherever you are, as well as those include airports, subways, train stations, and just travel in general. You may not be able to make it back home because it's a checkpoint you have to get through, and you're not allowed to go through. So the rules are that you must stay home, and the restrictive curfew that I mentioned already. I'm not sure what this curfew is, but the other day I was at a park, and I live in Oregon. I was just at a national park, and it's usually dusk to dawn, which is already unconstitutional, being a national public place. There should be no time limit on it. There's a gate that they shut off, so I was already mad about that. And then I get back from kayaking during the day, and now they're not the curfew, but it's not a dusk till dawn anymore during this. Not sure if it will go back to normal ever, but it was, you had to be out of there at 4. And so I had a citation on my window, as well as a friend I was with. Thought it was a ticket at first. I was very mad, but it was just a warning or a request. So that's just, it wasn't good to begin with, and then it just gets worse. And it's like, wow, America really isn't free at all. So this all came about because thousands of citizens in Baltimore violated the curfew that was made. And there has been a second death in Baltimore since the outbreak. Only the second death, but of course. I want to mention this quote from Joseph Stalin. Not really trying to think of how it ties into this, but it just came to me. So one death is a tragedy. Something like one death is a tragedy. A million is a statistic. So 2 deaths, of course, is a tragedy. But then it's like you're hearing about these massive amount of deaths and the statistics along with it. But even compared to the flu, it's hardly any. So the penalties of the people who do not follow rules and keep venturing outdoors continue to increase from small citations to now probably going into martial law, even to the level that I covered yesterday with the National Guard moving into the FedEx field. Not that was for martial law, so surely they're going to try and have some testing areas there as the cover story, but surely it'll be used for martial law. Like the lady said, they're not playing games. They set up the base at FedEx Field, and now they're deployed in Baltimore and many other big cities. I know Portland, and here in Oregon, Portland. I'm very lucky here in Florence. We're experiencing a lot of stuff, but I mean, it'll all get here at some point, but the big cities are where population control and martial law, and there's a big need for all those troops to be there to really control everybody because there's so many people, and if there's an uprising against the National Guard or some sort, it would be devastating to the National Guard. So they have to control much more here. Here it will probably be SWAT enforcing that, so small units though. So I wanted to cover this. I know it's short and sweet, but it just shows the links to the military and government, and not necessarily the ones who are creating this, much of the military gets their order from people who do not care about American lives and foreign lives, for a matter of fact. The people who control the military, I'm not saying the troops, I'm not against the troops themselves, I know I've covered this in a video before, but the people, the whole pyramid of power, and I can go over that pyramid at some point, but it's the citizens at the very bottom. Well, Earth, as a matter of fact, at the very bottom, and the citizens, but the military, and it's like, when I analyze the power structure, like, everybody feels raped from the level above them, that they have like a power trip over the level below them, and all of them. So it's like, I use the example of like controlling parents, usually ones who feel like they've been raped by a system or something, or by some other area in life, and so they're very controlling to their kids, and it's just like they just go on a power trip, and it's just insane. And then same thing with police, people above them, and the military, and people in the White House, and it just keeps going up and up. And it's just the root of all evil is the power. So that's just a little thing I wanted to get in there. Just letting you guys know about that. If you're in a large city, I'd say within a week, probably less, you'll have the National Guard roaming your streets and arresting anyone outside their homes, as this totalitarianism in America continues to grow. So they'll be roaming the streets. Surely they will place a law forbidding the possession of firearms during this time. I've already heard something about limiting the sale of firearms during this time because people are panicking to buy them, and I think somehow there's going to be some type of problem. But like I mentioned yesterday about the gun grab during Katrina, I could see this definitely happening. Now, if they're roaming the streets and they create something about not being able to have armed civilians for that time, they'll come take yours with guns drawn into your house. So just be ready. If you do not want to give up your guns, be ready. Otherwise, continue to sit on your couch and eat chips. So stay prepared, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Yeah, see you guys.